Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're talking about Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, so if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe because we have a lot to talk about tonight. So, as you know, today's launch day. Well, I guess if you live in New Zealand or whatever. But yeah, this game is a little bit more different than I even could have possibly expected. So I've been kind of bouncing back between Forza Horizon 4 and 5 today after they have gotten their, well, I guess they unlocked it. You can now play both of these games with Dolby Vision. So Dolby Vision is unlocked for both games. I jumped back into Forza Horizon 4 and it's winter. I'm like, oh man, it was like freaking spring or autumn yesterday. So I was kind of a little bit like, oh man, that kind of sucks. But I mean, like I could definitely get the feel for the cars. So Forza Horizon 4 feels pretty good. I mean, it's pretty fun. Like it's a great arcade racing game. Like it's like become my favorite over Need for Speed. And we'll get into Need for Speed a little bit too during this. So basically, this is my first impressions. Let me go ahead and get that out real quick. You know, just so you understand. Like I haven't beat this game. I haven't really went out of my way. I think I've driven 230 something roads now. 230 roads. That's, whew, boy. Okay, so, all right, all right. So Forza Horizon 4, amazing game. My biggest thing with that game was it had a small map. Like that map was pretty small. You could get from one side to the other in under like 2 minutes or whatever. It was pretty small. There was the big long freeway, you know, down the middle for some good solid racing. You know, roads felt, you know, fairly decent, fairly narrow for the most part, unless you were on that highway. Then it got kind of wider. So, in my comparison between Forza Horizon 4, like Forza Horizon 4 was a great game. But like I said, very small map, very, very small. The stuff they've showed us on the Forza Horizon 5 stuff is not even scratching the surface of what is there to explore. When I was watching all that, you know, and I try to avoid as much gameplay as I can when it comes to stuff like Forza with like an open world, because I want to see these things by myself. I don't want to be watching somebody else's feed when I see these environments, and that's why I'm gonna wait, you know, probably a little while before I do really any gameplay of Forza Horizon 5 until a lot of you guys have had more than enough time to pick this game up and explore it yourself. Or, you know, honestly, if you're a racing fan and you're on the fence about picking this up, oh boy, the stuff that we go over today is going to definitely, hopefully, change your mind. The first thing you're going to notice about the cars in Forza Horizon 5 is they have more weight to them. They feel weightier. They feel like they have a sense of weight to them. So when you when you're driving or going over bumps, you feel like you have more. You actually feel like you're on the road. Forza Horizon 4 did that all right, but crank that way up. Like crank that way up. Just imagine like when you let off the gas and you kind of hit your brakes and you go into a slide and you're on a dirt road. Just imagine, just feel it. Like it feels freaking amazing. That's the first point. So the first point, the cars actually have weight to them. So that makes, and when you're playing this game, okay, so I have tried this with my controller and my wheel setup. I plugged my wheel setup in. Oh my gosh, I've been like, my leg hurts, seriously hurts from all the driving I've been doing for the last like 3.5, almost 4 hours. So, whew, boy. I don't know if you've had a sim rig or not, but yeah, after a minute, it can start to hurt your legs a little bit because it gets pretty intense. So I've tried this with my controller. It feels really good on the controller, really decent, not too bad. Definitely not my ideal way to play. I love my sim rig. When I get a racing game, I love my sim rig, and Forza Horizon 5 is freaking phenomenal. It feels so good. I'm not just saying this. This is not hyperbole. Like, this game feels freaking amazing. I feel like I have so much better control when I'm driving. It just feels good. I have, better control over my braking, my throttle, my like everything. Everything feels good. Now, I'm not using a shifter, but what I have experienced. So I've been driving that Corvette, that C8. I had no desire to really drive any of the other ones. I mean, it does put you in 4 different cars during the opening section, just like any Forza Horizon game that's been out since the second one. Or yeah, well, I don't know. I've been playing Forza Horizon since the second one. This is freaking phenomenal. The way this game feels. This is what really got me. This is what really sold me on it, because I was expecting Forza Horizon, man. I mean, like 2, 3, and 4, like, pretty much had the same handling model. They all felt the same. You hit a corner, you slide too fast. Like, it just didn't feel that. I mean, it felt good, and I mean, you could learn, how to distribute the weight of the cars and everything. But this feels great. This one feels so much better. I don't know how to explain it aside from you just being like able to experience this yourself. The controls on it, when you're playing with the controller, feels pretty good. Like, I do like it. It's definitely a lot more stable feeling than 4 was. But I mean, wow, this game is just wow. Okay, so handling is great. Car physics feel a lot better. The weight distribution feels freaking phenomenal. Like, you can you can pretty much hold a pretty solid drift if you want. Like, I'm not really that great at drifting with my wheel setup. Definitely a lot better on the controller for that, but on my wheel setup, it does feel like I could possibly really figure this one out and like really get it dialed in to an extent where I can play. Don't have any. I don't have my like any of the settings. I'm not using. Gosh dang it! I mean, I do have anti-lock brakes on, but I do not have traction control or stability control. None of that stuff. And yeah, like, this feels good enough to where it's like, wow, man, you can hold this together. I mean, like, when I do get out there and I start punching it and I'm turning or something, yeah, the back end starts to kick out for me and I kind of lose it. So this just feels amazing. Like, you turn off all the training wheels. You don't need any of the training wheels, whatever. You get rid of all that stuff and learn how to feel the cars and drive. Like, this feels good enough to where you could play this game and just have fun, but also be learning valuable skills when it comes to track racing and other games. Like, you can get good at this game, I believe. I feel like this is the first time I've ever played an open world racing game, arcade racing game, to where it can be like, wow, man, you can play this as a sim. And I mean, it gives you like there's little options in there for you to track your stuff and have it sent, to like your computer or something, so you can check everything. This is pretty cool. Like, you can dial this in to play as a sim rig, or you can dial this in to play as a game, like a video game. Like, it feels so nice when you're driving on sim rig in this game. It is freaking phenomenal. All right, you've already heard everybody talking about 2 visual modes. Yes, you do. You have a 30 frame per second mode, and you have the 4K, and you have the 60 frames per second mode. I'm telling you, the only real difference between the two that I'm seeing, aside from maybe a little bit of more fine detail, is like the pop in. You definitely will notice like the color on the trees pop in. Cars kind of far out. They won't have any tires, but the cars still look pretty good. Yeah, you're gonna notice some popping. Like, that's there. It's evident. It is there. I mean, yeah, it does kind of bug me a little bit. Like, it's like, ooh, gosh, I don't know. But then when you look at the size of this map, like, the size of this map is freaking huge. I always found myself wanting in Forza Horizon 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. I just want to be able to like take a long drive and feel like I'm going somewhere. I'm telling you, like, you can get to know the map on Forza Horizon 4 fairly quickly. Like, you pretty much get to know that. This one's going to take a while. Like, this one's literally going to take a little while to figure out. Like, the city in there, whoa, it's freaking huge. It looks way bigger than what the one was in Like this game, the scale of this game is pretty decent. It is pretty good. Like you get out there and you start driving. I took a big old lap around the whole freaking map, and it took me a while. Like and I'm driving that Corvette, and I'm going pretty fast. Like I'm not just sitting there like driving around like a grandpa. Like this feels pretty good. There's a lot of different routes in this game. You can definitely go off road and do everything that you would normally. The forest area, oh my gosh, I'm not going to tell you what areas are in here because you're just going to have to find them yourself. I found 40 out of the 56 already, just out there doing all my driving and stuff. Like I have been really driving and trying to figure out, just how good this handling feels. So let's talk about some of the other visuals. Okay, so in some games you'll look out in like open world games and it'll look kind of like blurry textures, like just it'll be blurry and like potato looking, like they're super low res and there's nothing loaded in, there's no textures. I can safely say that when you're looking out in the distance, it looks good. I mean, it doesn't have any of that like ugly, blurry, muddy textures. Not that are like super noticeable to where you're like, oh gosh, I could see that. Like, no, dude, this game really never looks ugly. It never looks ugly. You never get that sense of, oh gosh, ever. I mean, the pop-in stuff when you're in the chase cam, yeah, you can definitely see it a lot more than you can when you're sitting in the car. Like when you're in the cockpit view, it definitely gets rid of a lot of that, and that's perfect for me because that's the way I drive 90% of the time, unless I'm just having fun. 4K mode is freaking phenomenal. It's beautiful. It looks so good that the 4K 30 mode looks so freaking good. And I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, if you really wanted to like really care about the visual package, like the driving, like it doesn't feel that bad. It actually does feel okay. Like, I mean, I could play that way and be okay, but me personally, the 60 FPS it feels so freaking good, and it looks so. It's perfect. It doesn't. The detail on everything is still there. It looks great. Like this game is freaking phenomenal when it comes to that. I've seen the review scores out there. It's getting like 10s and stuff. Yeah, dude, this is a solid 10. Like the bar for racing, open world racing games has been set so high today, so freaking high that I'm like, wow, man. Wow. When Need for Speed comes out, let's go ahead and talk about Need for Speed. When Need for Speed comes out again, okay, the last one they did was Heat. Heat had terrible textures. The dirt looked like mud, like blurry mud. Everything was just, it looked freaking pretty bad. But when you compare that, even comparing that to like 3 on Xbox One X, like there was no comparison, dude. 3 looked better. This here is like, I don't know if I'd say 20 times. It's pretty freaking good. It's definitely well above anything that I've ever seen a Need for Speed game do. When it comes to the bar being set high for open world racing games, like it's pretty high. Like the Crew 2 looks like a cartoon compared to this game. This game looks so much more realistic. And when we're talking about geometry, the geometry of like rocks and rock faces and just on the dirt roads and like out and around you, even in 60 FPS mode, there's like all kinds of freaking, like it looks pretty freaking realistic. It looks pretty dang good. Like I said, there are some things that are going to kind of throw you off a little bit, but gosh, they're so few and far between that, like when you're just driving down the road and there's like cars in front of you and you see how much detail is in the freaking NPC cars, you're like, wow, man, that's pretty. I mean, like the one thing, you can see the kind of tires load in, a little bit away. Yeah, it's little things like that possibly could be patched out, maybe fixed a little bit. I don't know. But this is, I mean, you're not like driving down the road and a car pops in front of you. Like, I mean, like, no, that doesn't happen. So, I mean, like, this is pretty good. The draw distance on this game is pretty freaking good. The LOD on this game is pretty freaking good. I'm happy with it. I'm more than happy with it. This is way better than I even expected. This blew my expectations completely out of the water. Like when you're driving through these towns and these cities and you're looking at like the walls, and I mean, if you get a chance to look at the walls because you're going pretty fast, but like if you actually take a stop, like take a minute to kind of stop and look around and take things in, like this game is freaking beautiful. I'm surprised at just how good this looks. I mean, this is one of the best looking games well, let's see. If I compare this to any other open world game that has been put out right now to date, yeah, this one here is the best by far. There's no question. There's nothing that even comes a little bit close to this. This is the best it can be. There's no way, no freaking way that Guardians of the Galaxy can't run higher than 1080p on the Xbox Series X. I don't believe it. You could sit here and tell me all day that's the best they could do, but I don't believe it. After seeing this, I do not believe that. This world is huge. There's just as much fine detail in this game as there was in that. And this here, you're going at freaking 250 miles an hour in that Corvette, and everything is just beautiful. Like, how the hell can that game, Guardians of the Galaxy, with the small world, not be able to run that at better than 1080p? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. So my first impressions of Forza Horizon 5 are freaking phenomenal. This game is through the roof. There's no question that this is the best open world racing game, the best looking, the best feeling. Like, this feels pretty good. Like I said, you could play this as a sim. You could probably dial this in pretty good to get it like close to sim racing, as well as be able to play this game as a straight up arcade game. Like, this game is built for everyone. Literally built for everyone, and I firmly believe that. I do. I firmly believe that this is the best open world racing game that I've ever played. It has given me every single thing that I hoped that I wanted out of Forza Horizon 4. I just wanted a bigger map. I just wanted, and this gave me exactly what I wanted. It's a big enough map to where I'm not going to be feeling like I'm running around in circles or seeing the same thing every single race. This feels like it has enough variety and enough diversity in this game to really shine and really give you an experience that, like, I haven't even seen. There's 578 roads or something in here, and I've seen like 230 of them. You know what I mean? Like, and I've been playing this for like 4 hours now, trying to get as much experience behind the wheel as I can, trying to really feel, what the racing feels like, what the car feels like, what, how it feels on a controller, how it feels on the racing wheel. And I'll tell you, like, right when I plugged my racing wheel in and I started playing it, I was like, whoa, wow, this feels great. Just right out of the box, not even playing with any of my settings yet. It feels pretty good. Like, I'm gonna have to dial it in a little more, because there is a little bit, kind of too much pull on the wheel and stuff. There's a little bit. I mean, I want to be able to feel like the dirt ground surface just a little bit better. But other than that, like, everything feels pretty good. You hit a bump, you feel it. I mean, the force feedback on this is really, really decent. Feels really, really good. And if it's anything like Forza Horizon 4, you got plenty of settings in there. I haven't really jumped in there and like really played around with the settings. I'm going to have to like really dig into this game a little bit. So I will be updating coverage on this game as I go. But I mean, just the thrill, the shock, the excitement of being able to jump into this game. Whew, man, dude, Playground Games knocked this out of the park. Xbox knocked this out of the park. This is an amazing experience that I'm grateful that they took the extra time, or whatever. If they did take extra time to build this game out and build it out good and build it out strong, and I'm pretty sure they've been optimizing and they'll continue optimizing. Hopefully some of that little bit of draw distance stuff they can really work on. Maybe like do like the mesh shaders or the VRS or VR variable rate shaders or what VRS, yeah, and like bring that technology to like really, continuously work on this game. But I guarantee Forza Horizon 6 is going to be a freaking masterpiece. This game is great. I'm really happy with it, and like, yeah, I mean, even Digital Foundry could not deny how amazing this game is. Yeah. They couldn't. I mean, their video today came out glowing praise, and that's good. They need to be like that, because this game is freaking phenomenal. Man, I easily beats Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart visually. In the 4K 30 mode, easily beats it. There's so much detail in this game, it's not even funny. Ratchet and Clank is a beautiful game. It looks great, but this here is definitely on another level. This game looks way more realistic. Ratchet and Clank, I mean, it is great for what it is. A kid game. It definitely looks amazing. It's by far a visual showpiece or showcase on the PlayStation 5 to showcase that power. But this looks better. I would say. I mean, I think this even looks a little bit better than Demon Souls. Actually, a lot better. I mean, Demon Souls is kind of a smaller environment. This definitely, for the size of this open world, I would put this game toe to toe with any game that PlayStation 5 has released right now. I would put it up there, and I'm pretty sure it would win the contest out of any of them. Death Stranding, yeah, I mean, Death Stranding is definitely a beautiful looking game, but I feel like this here definitely has more of that next gen look to the visuals, even though that Death Stranding's been upgraded. I would say Death Stranding, and this would probably be the closest that it came. Ghost of Tsushima is not even close visually. I mean, there's way more texture, way more detail, way more just everything in this game for Ghost of Tsushima to even be close to it. So yeah, I'm confident in saying that this game would run toe to toe with any first-party Sony game that's on the market right now today. So when you hear them people claiming, oh yeah, well, Sony's their first party and blah 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 and they're the best, Playground Games is they're pretty dang good. They're pretty good. You can't deny this. There's no, yeah, dude, this game is great. So if you like this content and you want to see more of it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I know this is kind of long, but there's kind of a lot to be said, and surely I've missed a lot. So if there's anything you want to know, put it down in the comments. I will do my best to answer your questions. This game is going to be on Game Pass. Wow, I can't believe this is coming to Game Pass. That's insane. So yeah, enjoy it when it gets there and have fun, man. We'll see you guys out on the roads, and I'll see you in the next one.